Hi, this is Sue at Hometown to Homestead Gal Gardener. Today is another day of canning, and I'm going to take you along and show you what I do to make some French onion soup. It's not exactly a traditional recipe that I'm doing, but this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to start with peeling and slicing a whole bunch of onions and getting them into this pot. Then we'll continue. A full pot of sliced onions and 2 sticks of butter to cook down. Onions are taking forever to cook down, as they always do. I've been mushing the butter down towards the bottom, and there's about 2/3 of a cup of water down there in the bottom too. Just going to keep cooking them down and cooking them down. Into each one of my quart jars, I have added 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon powder because I don't have any beef broth to put in this. So that's what we're going to use. I have a partial bottle of Chardonnay left in the fridge, and I'm going to put that in the big pot of onions to cook down. We've got quite a ways to go as there's quite a lot of liquid between the onions cooking down, the wine, the butter, and that little bit of water. But boy, is this going to be yummy. Good stuff. I have a little bit of thyme left, not a whole lot, in this jar. That's going in the pot with the onions. That's a lot of onions, so we got to get a little extra. And then get this open. Since I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to put some basil leaves in, just a little bit, maybe about the same amount as the thyme, because it needs a little herbal going on in this big pot of onions. And we will mix this in as this continues to cook down. This is all, my onions have cooked down by about 1/3 at this point. And it smells really good in here. I love onion soup, especially with a big old crouton and some Gruyere cheese on top. It's good stuff. So we'll let that cook some more. I came back to give the pot another stir, and my spoon bent in half. I guess it got a little too hot for it. So, broke out the spaghetti spoon. It's metal and ain't gonna melt. Okay, so our onions are cooked down by about half. There's still a lot of liquid in there. A lot of wine and the butter and the liquid from the onions themselves. I've taken and added a cup of hot tap water, as hot as I can get it, to the bottom of the jar, just so that when we're putting the onions in there, it doesn't shock the jars and break them. And so I'm going to go ahead and load up the onions into the jars. And this spaghetti scooper is going to be helpful with that. I like a lot of onions in my onion soup. So that's the point of onion soup, besides the nice beef broth. So after I get the onions all loaded up, I'll bring you back. So I decided that the broth wasn't quite rich enough with the beef flavor. So I added 1 more teaspoon of the beef broth. And then we're going to wipe the rims and get these all sealed up and in the jars into the canner. I'm going, because I've got hot, I top them off with hot water from the sink. So they are hot. They're not boiling, but they are hot. We will start the canner with hot water. Remember, hot jars, hot, yes. And this is considered a Rebbel canning recipe because there is butter in here. But it just wouldn't be rich enough for my taste if it didn't have the butter in it. So yes, 7 quarts of yummy, yummy French onion soup ready to go in the canner. I've got my 7 quarts in the canner with the appropriate amount of water. Wiped my rims really well, put my 4 jars lids on, fingertip tighten the bands. Now we'll put the lid on. Here's our beautiful end result. Gorgeous French onion soup in a jar. This is soup from hometown to homestead Gal Gardner. Enjoy.